Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. This is your no-nonsense guide to building the wonder weapon, the bow, in the final Black Ops 7 Zombies map, Rex Infernus. To do this, you need to go through the Pack-a-Punch and Void Claw steps, so we'll run through those quickly now. You're going to spawn in the house. You need to go downstairs after you open the doors, wait for the phone to ring as you progress through those early rounds, and then answer it when it rings. The door will then open and you'll be able to go through the portal, and you can place the world seed in the middle of the Pack-a-Punch area. 2 skulls will then get activated. These skulls go in opposite directions, and if you shoot these skulls, balls will drop, and if you suck up those balls, you'll get points. The skull head will then turn red, and it will start moving towards its destination, and you just need to keep shooting it when it's solid. This will happen several times, and you'll need to open doors as you go, and it will then get to a brazier, and it will explode. And this lights a flame in the brazier under the head called the Usurped Flame. You need to pick that flame up and run to the center area and throw the flame into one of these 2 braziers by Pack-a-Punch, and then do the same thing with the other skull. Shoot it, get its balls out, suck them up. This will make the head go red several times, and then you're going to get the flame at the end and bring it back to Pack-a-Punch. And once both the Pack-a-Punch braziers are lit, hold square on the wheels here to crank it, and then do the same thing on the other side, and then the platform will lower and the Nexus Forge will reveal the Pack-a-Punch. Now once that's activated, it will also unlock the Void Claw, and that is this map's grappling hook. And in order to use this, you're going to interact with one of these green fountains, and it's going to give you a roughly 30-second timer where you can grapple hook as many times as you want. Now unfortunately, you are limited to how many times you can pick up these fountains per round, so you'll find that sometimes you'll use a couple of the green fountains, and then suddenly all the fountains in the map will be off, and that's just a sign that you need to go to the next round to be able to grapple more. But this is per player, so in co-op, your teammates might still have grapple charges when you personally have run out. Next, there's a couple of things you can work on. You can do the Nyxara shard area, but we're gonna focus on the Dravakar temple to get started with. Inside the Dravakar temple, you will find there are these 3 switches around the kind of center area at the back of the temple, and the back switch here turns these 2 back pillars. The right switch here turns these 2 right pillars, and the left switch on the other side turns these 2 left pillars. Now there's also a switch in the very middle of the room, and that is basically your code entry button. So when you are happy with the code that I'm about to explain, you're going to press that button and it's going to seal your choice. If you fail, then all of your pillars will just reset back to their original position, and you'll need to try again the next round. But if you succeed, you'll have a very obvious completion happen. Also, inside that back central room, you'll see on these pillars, there are symbols, and I'm gonna refer to these in the following way. This symbol is the star or the sun. This symbol is the runner. Then this symbol is galaxy. And this symbol is moon. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back to this blue text on this back wall here and interact with it, and it's going to give you a riddle. On screen, there are several options for what that riddle can be, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you basically just a sort of cheat sheet of combinations that you can enter for each of these possible riddles, so that as long as you haven't already messed with your pillars, you can just get this solved every single time. So let's start with I drift to the runner that travels moons who borrow from galaxies when stars stay true. For that, interact with the left switch 3 times, the back switch twice, and the right switch once, and then you'll interact with the middle pillar, and that will accept your code. If it doesn't work, go to the video description and click on the "What do I do if it isn't working" timestamp. Our next riddle is I drift to stars that remember moons, who borrow the runner that travels the galaxy. For this, interact with the left switch once, the back switch twice, and the right switch twice. If it doesn't work, skip to the timestamp in the description titled "What to do if it doesn't work." For the next riddle, I remember the runner that travels to stars while moons and galaxies stay true. And this is a double whammy, the runner that drifts to the stars while the moon and galaxies stay true. Okay, this is 2 riddles in 1. Same solution. Interact with the back switch twice and interact with the right switch 3 times. Then interact with the switch in the middle of the room to enter your code, and if it doesn't work, check the video description for the timestamp titled "What do I do if it doesn't work?" Next riddle, I remember galaxies that drift to moons who borrow the runner that travels the stars. For this, interact with the left switch 2 times, and the right switch 2 times. And then interact with the middle pillar to enter your code, and if it doesn't work, then this next part of the video is for you. So if you're still having trouble, or you have a riddle that you don't feel like I've mentioned in any of the previous riddles, luckily for you, I have a page on cronorium.com, which is linked in the video description, which will spit the answer out for you. So all you've got to do is just select your riddle and follow the prompts on the screen on the page, and it will give you your answer. Now, assuming it was a correct entry, the central pillar will lower and it will reveal a secret room, and you can then grapple up there. But in order to be able to actually do what we need to do up there, you need to do this next step, and that's in the Nyxara area with the shard. So for this, you need any explosive. I usually use PhD Flopper for this. I go to the Dravakar temple, parkour up to this platform by the entrance, or just use a grappling hook, and then blow up your PhD or use a grenade against this wall, and you will drop out a part. Pick that up and then go to Nyxara and place the shard we just picked up onto this holder on this wall. You can either grapple up to the holder, or you can wall jump and place it in the holder. And once placed, you'll notice that there are many shards all over the walls. You need to pick up a Void Claw charge and go into the room with the huge eye, and what you'll find is you're able to rotate your wall holders so that when we start bouncing an energy ball in a second, it bounces in the right direction. And the alignment you need for this is starting at this shard above the rubble. You want that one to be aligned to the middle. Then above this room's main door, align it to the right. To the left of this door, align it to the left. To the right of the same door, align it to the right. And then inside the first Nyxara room, make sure that the shard we've placed is aligned in the middle. Then check that above the main door, it's aligned to the middle. And near this final door, it's aligned to the left. And obviously, if you do this and you start bouncing the balls in just a second and it gets stuck at a dead end, that's just a sign that whichever the last crystal in your sequence was is probably aligned in the wrong direction because it's not bouncing it to the next crystal. So we now need a purple flame. To get one of these, use a grapple to suck a purple ball and drag it towards you. And you're going to keep dragging it all the way down to that Pack-a-Punch area. Then you're going to crank the Pack-a-Punch by using the wheel here, and it will suck in the purple ball, and it will turn this fire purple. Now, if you can't find any balls to suck, don't worry, common problem. You can just go to the next round, and there'll be more balls that you'll be able to suck, and you'll also get grapples back. But assuming you've got your purple fire, you're gonna then hold square to grab the purple fire, and you're gonna run into the temple and shoot it at this eye here, and it will start the energy bouncing between the crystals. Now, you are on a timer when this happens, so you will need to run quickly, and you'll need to make sure you hit your shots, actually targeting that big eye in the back of the room. And like I said, if you've got a problem shard that is pointing the wrong way, just make sure that you adjust that shard using your grapple, and you'll then see the ball progress, and eventually it should open up a new area of this temple. This should be fairly self-explanatory to troubleshoot, but if you have any problems, let me know in the comments down below, and actually check the video description, I'll have more info down there too. But once the secret room opens, you'll go in there and you'll find a tree that will suck you, and once it's sucked you enough, it will go white, and at the bottom you'll see something come out, and it's a heart. You eat the heart by holding interact, it teleports you into a forest, and then you need to find 3 charred bodies around the forest. The first is inside this broken building here on the ground. For this, you're going to want to melee the floorboards to the left of the corpse, and that will reveal one of the parts. Then the warden will speak to you, and then you can take your first part. The second is that this corpse in the center of the forest against this rock. Interact with the corpse and it will spawn the part. And the third is by this cave entrance over here. Once again, interact to spawn the part. Once you've grabbed all 3 of those parts, you can return to the map via this portal here, or it will just suck you off back into the real world. And if you don't manage to find all your parts in time, don't worry, you can just go to the next round, and then you can re-eat the heart inside the tree, and you'll be able to try again in the forest. Now, one thing you might find is that it's not working for you, like it doesn't let you eat the fruit. That's because there's actually a higher round requirement for this step to work, so I believe you're going to need to be on round 8 or onwards, but I'll put a pinned comment if there's any amends that need to be made to that fact. But if it's not working for you, go another round or a couple of rounds, make sure you're on round 8 or onwards, and it should then unlock the fruit. But once you've got all 3 parts, use your grapple to grapple up into Dravakar's hole, which we opened up earlier, and then build the wonder weapon at the bench. The wonder weapon's pretty cool. It's got a left and a right side, which work independently, but if you Pack-a-Punch the wonder weapon, it gains a charged activation, which creates a fiery tornado that kills a bunch of zombies. So what you can do, should you so desire, is you can hold down charge on both of them, fire just, let's say, your left side, and then your right side is still charged. So as soon as that tornado disappears, you can immediately fire your right side tornado while you then charge up your left side again. And you can infinitely chain those tornadoes. Now, obviously the caveat here is it will burn through the ammo fairly quickly, so be wary of that. But otherwise, that is how you build the wonder weapon in Rex Infernus. You're now on a really good track to do the Easter egg in the map as well, so I've linked my main quest Easter egg guide on the screen right now. Click through and I'll see you there.